I'm Sunday Lima with We Venture. I've been here before, about a year ago I think it was, that I spoke here. Today we're going to talk about some psychological strategies to help you sell your books. A little bit about We Venture. We are a women's business center. We're located in the College of Business of FIT, and we offer free business coaching. So if any of you would like help marketing your books, just let us know, and one of our experienced coaches can work with you. Again, we are a nonprofit. We get funding from the SBA and from the generous community that we live in. So our coaching is free of service. So without further ado, I want you to imagine that you are online, you're shopping, you find a product you want or that you're interested in, it looks interesting. You go and you check out some customer reviews, they look good. You go back to the page, there's 2 items left in stock. What do?
Buy it now.
You're like, okay, you buy it because there's only 2 left. And if you don't buy it now, you're gonna miss out. And you read the reviews were good. So this is a little of an example of how these psychological strategies are used to help sell. And there's over 20 of them. I've got 12 that I'm going to cover, but you can get online and do your own research. There's a lot more. And today, as I cover these psychological strategies, I would like for you to think about how you can use them with your books that you want to sell. I also want you to think about how they're used on you, right? Examples of these strategies that you see from businesses marketing their products. So I want you to think both. And also during the presentation, I'm going to ask for a little bit of participation from the audience. I'm going to ask you to come up with each of these. I'm going to ask you, how can you use this strategy to sell your books? I'm also going to ask you if you've seen this in other areas of the market that people are trying to sell to you. So these strategies really help you connect with your customers, it engages with your customers, and it builds trust and loyalty and community, really is what these do. So let's start with, I forgot my clicker. I'm going to start with trust. Trust is the first one. Trust is really the foundation of all relationships, really, but it's true with business as well. And the relationship with your customer, you really need to build their trust. And there are ways to do that. One of them might be customer reviews, right? If I read a lot of customer reviews, I'm like, okay, these customers trust this person, then maybe I can also. And this is a good time for me to bring up that some of these strategies, they overlap each other, because that's also another strategy that I'm going to talk about with customer reviews. So how can you use trust in selling your book? Now, trust is gained through authenticity and transparency. Think about anything that you can that might help you sell your book with trust.
Word of mouth.
Okay, word of mouth. Okay, from people just talking, maybe online. We mentioned the customer reviews. Maybe you can share your research process, right? As you're researching to write your book, maybe you're sharing that process that shows, that you're open. You're not on ChatGPT having it write your book, right? You're actually doing the research. Maybe some behind the scenes content you can share as you're writing. Maybe you're writing journal. Maybe some certifications or collaborations that you've had with other distinguished authors. That builds your trust and it also builds authority, which we're going to talk about later. Yes?
What about awards? If you had won awards, you would say award winning.
Right, yep. Exactly. Sometimes it's hard for us to toot our own horns, but it's really good for sales if you share your awards, because it builds people's trust in your ability as an author. The next one we're going to talk about is scarcity, and that's kind of what I just talked about when you're online shopping and there's only 2 left, right? When there's a limited quantity. A lot of, human nature, we want, we have this FOMO. Does anyone know what FOMO is?
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out, right? So we have FOMO. That's who we are. We don't want to miss out on anything. So if there's only a few left of something, I want to get it before someone else gets it. I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. As I grow older, though, I'm starting to embrace JOMO. JOMO. Does anyone know what JOMO is?
Joy of missing out.
Very good. It's the joy of missing out. I now embrace the joy of missing out. I don't have as much FOMO as I used to. So with FOMO, scarcity is such a powerful motivator. It really does motivate people to act. Maybe there's a limited time promotion, maybe a limited edition product. Maybe there's only so much time remaining on this special offer, right? You've got 3 hours to make your decision and then this deal's over, right? That also puts a little bit of pressure on you to buy. Can anyone think of an example of a product that you bought because you had FOMO or it was going to be scarce?
Like a handmade item.
Could be. Mm-hmm.
Would you put that like tickets in that category?
Oh, yeah, tickets.
Yeah, right, tickets. Mm-hmm.
Trying to replace a part on an old piece of equipment or something where it's very difficult to find replacement parts. You find one and they say, well, we do have one or two.
Right, you're going to get it immediately. Yeah.
You may not ever see it.
You might not find one. So with yes.
BookBub, a short-term offer, limited time.
Uh-huh.
BookBub.
BookBub. Okay, good.
Like it's free for a week or something.
It's usually down like
Right.
$1.99. Yeah.
Right.
So for books, you could offer maybe a limited number of signed copies, right? There's only so many signed. And so somebody might want to feel compelled to buy because there's only a limited number. Maybe exclusive pre-order bonuses. If you buy now during the pre-order stage, you get a bonus something. There's a bunch of ideas you could come up with. And can anyone think of a bonus you would add to the sale of your book? Maybe something they could go online to get, maybe? Yes?
Bonus chapter or behind the scenes.
Right, that's a great idea. A bonus chapter that no one else gets to read of this book if you buy now. That's a great bonus, yes.
I give a free hummingbird feeder if they buy a hard copy.
Mm-hmm.
Because my book's about a hummingbird.
Right, great, good idea.
Couldn't hear what she said.
Oh, I'm sorry, she gives a free hummingbird feeder if they buy the hard copy. Yeah, but only if they buy the hard copy. Mm-hmm. And that's a very inexpensive bonus that pushes people to get the hard copy, right?
Don't tell anybody, but they cost $1.25.
Right, they're cheap, right?
Don't tell anybody.
You're right.
It's really pretty on display. It's
Yes.
a real eye-catching piece.
Yes, it is. Very good. All right, the next one. Anticipation. Does anyone remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Did it ruin Carly Simon's great song for you as it did me? It really ruined that song for me. And I love Carly Simon. So anticipation is another psychological trigger that is used. How many of you count down the days to Christmas? And then when we were kids, how many days left of school? Right? We wanted to anticipate what was coming. So this is a big trigger that is used in selling. So it builds excitement, and you can do this by maybe teasing a new product launch. Your book hasn't published yet, but it's in the process of getting published. It's done. You can start teasing it. You don't need to start selling your book when it's published and ready to mail, right? You can start teasing it way ahead of time through what are some ideas how you could tease your books ahead of time? I know you've done this.
Well, you could do it on Facebook also.
Mhm.
That coincides with the engagement, which coincides with the trust.
Right? A lot of them are mixed.
Right, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And then it's coming now, and then you could build your email list from that as well. I think, TJ, you do that a lot.
And then before my launch, my website actually offers a countdown clock.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Uh-huh. Yes.
Pass out bookmarks.
Bookmarks, what is that?
A book, no, just a bookmark.
Oh, a bookmark. Oh, okay, okay.
Here today.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Joanne, who you know, used to be the president, she has done cover reveals. And for one of her books, she gave like part of the cover and then kind of like a puzzle pieces. So she removed this part and then she removed that part. And after a while, the whole cover was revealed. So
Yeah, that's really building anticipation to see what the whole cover looks like. Yeah, that was a great idea.
So
Yeah.
book trailers.
Yeah, book trailers are great. Yeah, book trailers, movie trailers.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say, I do an audio drama, so at the beginning of each season, I list all the episodes.
Hmm.
And then,
Okay.
you know, and then each section, I get rid of one, and then
Okay.
buy 'em all.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Great. So you could, how do you see this used with other businesses?
Well, I'm an artist, and I think you could use all of this to market
Mm-hmm.
art.
Yes.
Painting, craft,
Anything.
sculpture,
Mm-hmm.
portraiture,
Yeah, these are,
about anything
Mm-hmm.
that you want to market. This is a great strategy.
yes, definitely. Yeah, you could send out email teasers. You can offer early bird registrations. You can share sneak peek videos or sneak peek anything. You can sneak peek in your book, which is I'm going to talk about later too. But maybe you could do a character reveal or something that gets people excited that what's coming. Good. The next one is social proof. And social proof, we all look to others to see what they think or what they like, and then that helps us. It helps guide us to maybe, if they like it, maybe I'll like it. That's not always the case, obviously, but especially with books. But social proof is big, and social proof. A lot of you are using social media and to sell your products. You could, like we talked about earlier, showcase testimonials as social proof. That's kind of overlapping. You could display user-generated content in that you have your Facebook or your Instagram, and then you allow your community, your people who are engaging with you to write on your social media so that other people are seeing, oh, they really loved this book, or you're seeing actual people, other customers that have bought your book write how they felt about it, and that would in turn push me to want to buy it and read it, right? So social proof is a big one. You could also maybe highlight the number of books sold, right? That shows that, wow, if they sold 3,000 books, then there must be something within this book. I want to buy it. So it's more social proof. And maybe how many social media followers you have. You're building this community online, and if you state that somewhere, people are gonna be like, oh wow, they have that many followers. Maybe I need to look more closely into this author. And the next one is authority. And authority, a good example, I think, of positioning yourself or your brand as an expert or credible in your field or as an author, I think Billie Jean has been doing that lately. And she's been doing it by speaking, right? She has done a few speeches in which she's presented as an author talking about writing. That builds her authority and her credibility quite a bit. I know public speaking isn't everybody's favorite thing to do. I think something like almost 80% of people fear public speaking. So the majority of you in this room, but it does help with your credibility as an author. Let me see what else I wrote here. Maybe guest blogging, right? Or contributing to reputable publications in your book's genre or niche. Just getting your name out there builds authority when people see your name in different areas. You can see this, maybe a lawn care specialist might post seasonal tips of keeping your yard green all year long, right? Oh, if that lawn care company knows that, then they're probably pretty good, you know. Or maybe your hairstylist posts how to keep your hair moisturized in the winter. Yeah, moisturized in the winter. I was thinking of getting my hair washed, I guess. A real estate agent might post. I know I'm something else. I'm sorry. A real estate agent might post maybe market analysis reports or local real estate trends. That kind of shows that they're educated. They know their industry. Builds authority.
One of the things that I love to read or watch YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the ones about gardening and hummingbirds, things like that. And when they start talking about their book, I want it.
There you
Because I've
go.
been following them.
Uh-huh.
And all these things are wrapped up in what they do.
Yeah, so she said she likes to watch gardening videos on YouTube, and they're talking about the hummingbirds and other things, and she's all into their YouTube presentation, and then when they present that they have a book, she wants to buy it because they've already shown their knowledge, right? And it grabs you. Any other examples? Nope. Okay, reciprocity. Reciprocity. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. When somebody gives you something, it's just innate that we want to give something back. You know, we shouldn't give to receive, right? We should just give to give. But when someone gives to us, I don't know, I feel like I got to give something back at some point, you know, maybe not right away, but it's that reciprocity that is innate in all of us. So when businesses give free things away, it triggers this subconscious psychological thing in us that wants to do business with that person or that business because maybe they're giving you value for free. Maybe they're giving you some free advice. Maybe they're giving you a free hummingbird feeder. You know, think about things that businesses give away that maybe sparks a little bit of you wanting to know more, wanting to give back. Yes?
Almost all junk mail now has it. You know, the free greeting cards, free notepad, free pen.
Yeah,
all
the
things
free
that
nickel.
you- Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, if you know this, I can do something for them.
Yeah. Yeah, they've overdone that, right, in the mail. Yeah, I just throw it in the garbage. Yeah.
I think the critique groups are emblematic of reciprocity because everybody reads everybody else's and shares.
Right. Yeah. If somebody gives you a good critique of your book, you know that they really took the time and the energy to think about it and give it. You want to do the same, right? You want to help them, right? Yes.
So an easy reciprocity that authors can do is if you have a newsletter that you send out, you can include other authors in your newsletter. So this month
Yeah.
highlight Cynthia, she just published this book, you should really check it out. And you're sending it to your following, and then next month Cynthia does the same thing for you, or you have a circle of people that you do it all for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's collaborating is a great way to get more exposure. Other businesses that give things away, maybe you could give away, let me see, I wrote something down. You can provide maybe a sample chapter out of your book. One that you know is really going to get them hooked and want to read the whole book. That's an example.
I followed 2 series, and each gave their first book in their series free. And it's digital, obviously, which I use. I love my books, but I use digital books to test out new genres, to test out authors. It's just easier and cheaper, and then I don't have the expense of the book. But with both of those, I bought the rest of them.
Right.
They were phenomenal. They were in strange genres one was steampunk, Victorian, paranormal. I mean, talk about niching down. Fantastic, simple read, maybe 289 pages. I would have never, ever even ventured to go there. Didn't know anything about her, and I got all 7 of her books.
Right, great
From that
idea.
series, and then then continued on with the rest that she came on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from, and as well as with the other one, and each of them gave their first book in their series for free digital.
Wow. Great idea. Yes.
When I owned Future Features Cartoon Syndicate, one of the strategies I used was to list websites, newspapers, the market, but also under a heading of the artists, cartoonists, and the writers, and their websites. And
Okay.
and it encouraged some people to actually create their own websites
Uh-huh.
because they realized that
That the
this was-
exposure-
I'm telling you, this was way back at the beginning of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I was one of the first people online to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It proved to be very effective because that added to the authority and the credibility
Right.
factor.
Right.
That I was aware of the marketing potential of this kind of collaboration and reciprocity.
Right.
And to me, that's very important.
Yeah.
Creates a network.
Yeah. Helping, exactly. Promoting others. Any others? Can you think of how this is used? Can you think of any time you received something for free and then it kind of encouraged you to buy from that business or that person? Yes.
Another thing is, take cameras back when. You could get very, very, very good deals on the cameras because then they only sold the film that would fit the camera. So any product that has something that requires like the battery thing, you can buy the product for sometimes next to nothing, but you have to keep buying batteries or it's worthless.
Yes, right. We're kind of getting off on a tangent, but yeah, I used to have a tack and feed store, and when the recession hit, and I was mainly for horses, and people were getting rid of their horses, so I started selling chickens, because with the chickens came the feed, the supplies, and I happily sold them that to go with the chicken. Yeah.
And you could establish a private Facebook group. So
Yes.
if you like this book or whatever, you're on a private page, and people love being on private pages.
Right.
Because they're in the know. It's like
It's a community. It
community.
builds a community.
Exactly.
You feel part of something bigger than yourself, which is one of these triggers that's coming up soon. Actually, it's the next one. Community, which she just described. You could start a private Facebook group where if you buy the book or any of your books, then you get included in this private Facebook group where you talk about the book. It's kind of like a book club online, and people like to feel part of something bigger than themselves.
And they get very emotional about it. I mean, they are triggered to purchase.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can also, not only on Facebook, you could also host a community event, your book launch, or you could even, I don't know what other things you could promote, but you could do some type of event that encourages people to be part of your community. You could offer perks, special discounts, early access. Maybe the people who have bought your first 3 books in your series, they get to purchase the 4th one before anybody else, gets to purchase it. Maybe something like early access. Yeah, here I've got Discord server, Patreon for dedicated readers where they can engage, discuss, and feel personally connected to you and your books. The next one is the halo effect. The halo effect is when, they've read one of your books and they loved it, they're just assuming that the next book is going to be just as good, right? It's the halo effect. Or any product, if you're happy with a product, you want to get something else by the same manufacturer because that product was high quality, then you're assuming the next one is. So it's the halo effect in that regard. If you've written multiple books, position them as a cohesive brand. Gives you a strong representation. Branding. Branding is important. It really is. And if you need some information on branding, we do have a lot of free webinars that We Venture puts on. We did have a free webinar on branding. It was really good. I can email, I have some business cards here. If you want me to email you the link to the webinar on branding, I can do that. You can also find our webinars on our website under resources, but I can send you that, but it's important. The anchoring effect is another one. We rely heavily on the first information that we receive, kind of like you think, first impressions are really important. When you first have the impression, that's what you remember. Same thing with products. It's the first thing that you see is what you remember. And a lot of businesses use this. They might say, this item is, I don't know, $150. But for now, it's only 119, so they're going to say 150 and then lower it to 120. So the 120 doesn't seem as bad or as expensive. It seems more reasonable because it's a lot less than the original price that they gave you, right? You've seen like was and now, right? That kind of encourages you to buy because you're like, oh, it's on sale. Even though the now price might be too much, but you don't look at it that way because they presented the was price first, which is higher, and that anchors into your mind. That's one tactic that businesses use to sell. They also.
Give me it, but wait.
But wait, there's more. Yeah. So you might, with your books, I'm thinking as an author, maybe you would, advertise the hard copy price first, and then offer the paperback. But always come out with that higher price first, because that's going to be in their minds, so that when the other price comes, it's more reasonable, more economical. I can afford that.
And also with the type, with this one lady who she gave me, I got her first book for free, and this was when I was first entering into ebooks and all that, and I didn't think I was going to like it because I wanted to hold a book.
Right.
But I noticed with her story, it didn't matter what the heck I was holding, and then I purchased all of her ebooks. As soon as it was done, I just got the ebook. So I got 5 ebooks in a row. I could have purchased the paperbacks, I could have purchased her hard books, but I was anchored in as an ebook reader, and then I kind of just stayed there.
Now, do you buy all your other books that way?
No.
No. Okay. So you haven't converted.
No, and I won't.
Right. I know.
Too much of a free spirit. I'm all over the place, and I don't like.
Yeah.
I find authority, even my own authority.
Right.
So if I bought 7 ebooks, no, I have to have a real book now.
Yeah.
I flip flop too much.
Yeah. Yes.
I think for those of us who have published on Amazon, it's easy for us to use that concept because, like, my book is $33.95 on Amazon, but we sell it for $29. And I think $29 is an extremely high amount to pay for a children's book. My book's like 5 books in one, so I say that too. But anyway, when you compare it to, I could wait and buy it on Amazon, but I don't think $5 more, and then shipping if you don't have Prime. Anyway, it's a good way to use that as selling leverage.
Right.
Or other markets and such.
Yeah, start with the higher price and then come down from there. Another one that's similar is the compromise effect. I'm sure you see this all the time in marketing for items. They give you the 3 choices, the 3 levels, economical, mid-range, and high, right? And most people compromise on which one. Which one would you probably buy? The middle one, right? The middle one. So, yeah, it depends. Like sometimes I want the high-end computer, depending on what I'm using it for. But when you look at it like this, if you're really low on money, you're going to get this one. But if you're just not sure, you're just going to get the middle one, right? It's going to be good enough. It's not going to be great, but it's not going to be bad. It's going to be good. So most people will buy the middle one. Of course, you're going to have purchases on either end. Hold on. Yeah, it just feels balanced and reasonable. Like I don't want to spend money I don't need to. Maybe I don't need the bells and whistles one at that price. It's just more balanced. So having pricing tiers helps customers make choices, and we'll go into that in a little bit as well. But using this for your books, does anyone think of a way to use the compromise effect with your books? Yes, Billie Jean?
A good example is just hard copy, paperback, ebook.
Very good. Exactly. And most people will buy the paperback because it's right in the middle. It's made most reasonable. Some just want that hard copy, right? And some prefer the digital. I'm not digital yet either. I'm paper. I don't think I'll ever go to that side.
I said that too, but I literally have thousands of books on my I'm never gonna get to all of them.
Yeah.
I hoard them there, so I don't have to hoard them in my house. and
In your
have them
space.
kick me out.
Yeah.
Also,
I think you have a question.
Yes.
sometimes just the fact that you have an autographed copy and you only offer the autographed copies on the hardbound.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also bundling, if you have a series, 1, 2, and 3, cheaper.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to get sales is to bundle, and then you can buy them all at once for 10% off what you would pay if you got them separately. Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the children's books authors, they started giving like a little stuffed animal similar to her bird feeder that looks like the character.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
those
that
are
helps
real
sell.
fun to pass up with children.
Yeah. Right.
More so because of the parents.
Right.
Oh my God, Susie
Yeah.
has to have this. And then it just works.
That's true.
So when would you give these things? Because on Amazon, they're not going to let you add a bird feeder. I don't know how you would make that work.
Well, I would suggest
I know in person.
either on the sale page or in the book, it would give a website where they would go to the website and they would, upload a picture of their receipt that they bought the book. Proof of purchase somehow. It could just be a photo. And then you would
Send it to them.
send it to them. Mm-hmm.
And then you get an email address. Which
Yeah.
You can add to your email list.
Good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't want to go into a deep rabbit hole on this one, but there's Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is an option for when you are launching a new book. You can add in all kinds of stuff for the bonus items to make it special for people to buy in pre-sales. And then you specifically send all that out when they buy the book, but you're obviously charging more money because you're kickstarting yourself, which is why it's called that. Your Kickstarter.
What is Kickstart? Is it a website, a platform?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's called Kickstarter.com?
Kickstarter. Mhm.
Okay, and they give you the option of sending stuff out?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're collecting addresses and emails and all of that.
Yeah.
And their own, and you're able to offer, one special edition only, and that's like the top tier item, or whatever, you make it whatever you want, but it's a way to do the things that you're talking about, so that you're getting
Right.
addresses and emails.
The emails are golden. If you can collect emails, you need to, and you need to start your database of emails, whether it's on a Excel spreadsheet or in some type of software that collects, like a CRM that collects it for you. But emails are golden because that's how you can email the people who are reading you or interested in you. Maybe they haven't bought a book yet, but they've shown interest. Well, maybe you could send them an email out once a month talking about what you're writing about or what your next book is, or lots of things. I know you've got starting an email database, right?
Just starting.
Just starting. Yeah, it's really great way to market anything is an email list. People still read emails, and even though it. And we have a couple more left. The framing effect. Is it half full or half empty? Would you rather buy the product that is 5% fat or 95% fat-free? Which one would you rather have? It's the same item, but I'd rather have the 95% fat-free because the 5% fat just doesn't sound so good, right? So you got to think about how you're framing your product, your book. Are you selling a you know, a 300-page book, or are you selling something that's going to transform my life in one weekend, right? So think about how you're expressing your product. One thing I go through with my clients is what is the intangible benefits of this product. If I buy your book, of course I'm going to get hours of enjoyment, right? I'm going to rest with the book and I'm going to enjoy myself. But what else? What other benefit am I going to get from reading your book? I'm sure there's a lot of benefit I'm going to get. Maybe I'm going to learn something. Maybe I can use it to make my life better. Or maybe you're a fictional writer and you're really going to get me to, you know, I don't know, think psychologically about certain things, or maybe I'm going to feel so much emotion, you know, like there's a lot of intangible benefits that we get from reading, and each book gives you different intangible benefits. So you really want to think about that and use that for marketing your book. So that's framing your book or framing an item in a positive way, or a way that's going to intrigue people.
You know, I can think of two good examples of that of
Good.
books I've read.
Mm-hmm.
One is this author, all of her books were about people they were like a cooking group.
Mm-hmm.
And there was recipes in every book.
Mm.
Another one was the lady that started mysteries, and they were about herbs.
Mm-hmm.
So she's teaching about herbs in every book.
Right. So you're not only getting this fictional story that's interesting, but you're also learning something tangible that you can use every day, or that's just interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Very cool. Does anyone have another example of where you saw a book, or it could be something else? It could be an item that you saw framed in a certain way. Do you want to buy? Do you want to hire a gardening company to mow your yard every week, or do you want to transform your yard into the envy of the whole neighborhood? Right? That's just an example. So think about that when you're marketing. All right, we've got one more. And choice overload. How many of you hate going to that restaurant? They hand you the menu and it's like a book.
The diners.
Oh my God, it takes me like 15 minutes to get through it. I just want to know, you know, just give me a few choices and then I can decide. So choice overload, you know, we go into analysis paralysis, right? There's just too much to think about, too much to look at. I have no idea what I'm going to get. You know, somebody help me.
Joanne Fabrics.
Joanne Fabrics? What do they do? Oh, you go in there and you're like... Overload. Can anyone think about, you know, being overwhelmed from too many options recently when they went to buy something? Can anyone think of an example? Yes, you can? Oh. Can anyone think of one specific example?
The library.
The library. You walk in and then, yeah, there's thousands. They help a little bit though, right? What do?
Categorize.
Yeah, well, when you walk in, there's tables with, you know, books they're featuring that might grab, you're going to look at those. They'll grab your attention. So that helps a little bit when you walk in and you don't know what you're going to get. You might want to check those out first. Maybe on Amazon, you go to Amazon and they give you bestsellers. That kind of helps. So I'm going to look at those first. Yes.
Also, many websites say, if you bought this, other people also bought this, or people who
Yes.
bought this also bought this. Or you might want to consider this since you did this. So you
Right.
have to make that argument to set it up for yours.
Right. Exactly.
Other people have bought.
Yes, other people, right, exactly. Think about how you could use this choice overload in selling your books. How could you make choosing what to buy better? Because if somebody's confused and they're overwhelmed, they might not buy anything. They might be like, yeah, I can't think right now, right? Too much to think about, too many choices. So they don't buy anything. So you really need to simplify the buying process. Yes?
Part of the simplifying, if you can say this in good faith, is that yes, there are a lot of choices out there, and yes, they're all about this, as in my book. However, my book has this, or my product offers this. that those don't. So whether your book is tight on suspense or a variety of characters versus one character, I mean, you have to decide what in your, and that's where your friends, I mean, your editor is going to look at it for its ability to be marketable and readable and not have mistakes in it. But you've also got to consider who's going to buy it. And so talking to your friends who you think would give you an honest opinion can also give you an idea from the marketing of this is different from those because it's better, because it's this, because it's a quicker read. And if you want something quick, you can do this and get a fine story.
That's one thing that I go over with my clients when we do a one-page business plan. I ask them to tell me what sets them apart. What distinguishes your book from other books in the same genre? Like, what is it? There's something. There's probably many things. And if they don't know, I help them figure it out. But like you said, you need to set yourself apart and distinguish yourself from other authors that write similar genre that you do. Good.
Well, like when I first started reading science fiction, which is not what I started reading, obviously in my youth, and I walked into Barnes & Noble, and I don't know which one to pick. And any one can be a bad book.
Right.
And bad for me.
Right.
Bad for me.
Right.
And science fiction is all over the place. So, like, if I go to romance, chances, there's a formula.
Yeah.
So I pick the genre, I pick the time period, I pick the cover that I like, and 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna like it. But sci-fi is so vastly different.
Right.
And same thing happened with the steampunk. I like steampunk, but to read steampunk, how is that even possible? But when that lady offered her first one for free, it was easy.
Right.
It made it easier.
Yeah. Yes.
That point about who is going to be buying your book is, to me, the critical one, because you can't depend on your friends. You can't. They're your friends. But
You got to
they're
figure
not
out who
gonna
your
buy
ideal
book
client
because
is.
they're your friend.
Yeah.
And then you can say, well, we're mystery writers. A good thing I found is going to places where groups are who gather with interest in that. So if you're selling a book on gardening, then you want to talk to community groups and gardening groups and so forth.
Right.
But you can sell the book better than your commercial or your ad or your website can if you're there in person.
Yeah,
Then when
definitely.
you build the sales and build the email collection and stuff like that, then you go beyond as you refine your understanding of who's buying your book and what they're getting from it.
Right. Yeah, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So if they get to know you, they're more likely to buy from you. Getting online, doing videos is scary, but it sells items. Or getting out in the community and meeting people and engaging with them helps sell what you're selling in your book. I do have a one-page business plan that I can share with you if you want, and it has all the questions that I ask in each area, and that's another one, figuring out who your ideal reader is. Who is that person? But I'd be happy to email that to you as well if you'd like. It's a fillable PDF, so you just fill it.
If you send it to me, I can send it to them via
Okay.
email.
Oh, perfect. I'll send you that.
And we can probably post it on the site. as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Was there something else I was gonna send?
No, but I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
I'm probably jumping the gun on it, if all the points that you discussed today, if you put it on one sheet
Yeah.
as well, and I could share that as well.
Sure. And then there was something else I was going to share if you wanted me to. What was it?
Branding.
Oh, branding video. Okay. I'll put the branding video, the one-page business plan, and these
right.
triggers in
Right.
one email to you,
Right.
and then she can send it out to everybody.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so we are actually at the end of the 12 triggers that we went over. Like I said, there's like 20 of them. And I challenge you, leaving here, maybe this weekend or over the next week, to think about, write down, and possibly implement like 3 of these in marketing your books. And if you need extra help, I'll give her my information that she can email also to you, so you can see how to sign up for free coaching if you wanted someone to work with one-on-one. We work with you either at the office at We Venture, which is at the College of Business on Babcock, just south of 192, or we meet with you via Zoom is also another option that we do when we work with our clients.
And you've been working with Jean, right?
Billie Jean, yes.
And
3 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And Billie she's shortlisted for Florida Writers Association. I know you didn't want to say it before, but I think we should know that's you on her first book.
That's
huge.
really good. Yes. Yes.
And she thought, I'm never going to be able to do this. Well, you thought you couldn't even write the first book, let alone come as far as you've come. And you give a lot of thanks to us here, which we love having you and we love collaborating with you, but you did the work. So congratulations to you for that.
I owe a lot to Sunday.
I know.
Yeah.
Keep encouraging me.
I know.
You know, when I lost my first illustrator, I was ready to quit and throw in the towel, but she found someone else for me. So,
Yeah, a lot of what we do, we not only help you grow your business, but we also do a lot of encouraging and a lot of confidence building. And, you know, I ran my own business for 8 years, and I had that tech and feed store I told you about. I many times I was on the cliff ready to jump. Like, I gotta sell this business and I just want to work for someone else because it was so stressful. You know, it was like a roller coaster. And the same thing with as authors. You get so excited, this is going to be great, we're going to sell, and then you're like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? I'm spending all this time, and then so it's like a roller coaster, and it's I call it a personal development on steroids, right? Because you really have to dig deep and find who you are and the strength and to keep going, and you have to talk to yourself a lot positively because we all have that negative voice in our head that tells us, and sometimes we have negative voices around us, right, from other people telling us, you know, you're spending too much time on this, you're wasting your time, and you just got to ignore all that chatter and just find positivity and keep following your dream.
And know that you're not alone.
And you're not alone, right? Exactly.
You're not alone. I mean,
No.
yes, here, but there are many other writing groups. And the other thing that you offer through We Venture are the resources. The resources are just like insane, absolutely insane. I think we are very, very blessed to have We Venture here in Brevard County.
Yeah, if I don't have what you need, I have somebody I could call to find out what you need, or, you know. I just had a client ask me for a contact with the Space Coast Economic Development to sell, she sells promotional items, and I don't know who that person is, but I knew somebody who knew. Because I know a lot of people in the community for what I do, so I can usually find out, you know, the contact information or the resource that you need. If I don't have it, I can find it. So yeah, we are good with that. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you happen to know, I mean, about 10 years ago, the amount of publications was about 13,000 books a day that were published through different things. Yeah, 13,000.
Wow.
Do you happen to know if it's come down or has it gone up?
I would have no idea. I'd ask ChatGPT. I don't know. He might know. I don't know. Yeah, but that's a lot a day. I didn't realize it was that much.
Well, that was about 10 years ago.
You know what? If that was 10 years ago, I would guess that it's probably 10 times that number. Because a lot of people now are authors with AI that never knew how to write, right? Now everybody can write. You know, you can type in something that doesn't sound very good, and then ChatGPT makes it sound better. So there's a lot more authors out there now. Yeah.
I was wondering if the genres moved, because it used to be heartthrob books.
Right.
And it was this, and it was children's books.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, if you're going to go against those odds, you've really got to be focused as far as what you're writing about, because you do want to sell it. I mean,
right.
Plus it's self-gratification.
Yeah. I mean, everything moves with the times, right? I remember the heartthrob books were, you know, Fabio was out there. Remember Fabio? Yeah, so now there's no Fabio right now, so yeah, the heartthrob books, I guess, are down. I don't know what's selling now. Maybe sci-fi has become more popular.
I think it's all over the place.
I think it changes.
It's all,
yeah.
There's a market for every single
everything.
out there.
And with the internet and cell phones, and now is the easiest time in the history of the world to be an author, to be a business owner, the easiest time, because we have a way to connect with the community like that. So imagine the authors of 100 years ago, what they had to go through to get their out. Yes?
A friend of mine wrote basically his memoirs. And he divided it up, seeing the 3 ice cream cones, into 3 volumes. And he sold the second volume first.
Oh, interesting.
He had it published. And then it was a success, and they made it into a movie and everything.
Okay.
And then everybody wanted the first and
Right.
the third.
Just like Star Wars.
Yeah.
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 Right,
Yeah, you give the ending first. right?
Yeah, that
It
was great.
called Top Gun.
Oh, wow. Top Gun.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It was a memoir, I did not know that.
Any other questions? No? Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.